it's Rhea. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you're safe and enjoying yourself. It's been over a week since I last posted because I was trying to get some things set up and I kinda still am. I have to get my desk set up, but if you haven't noticed by now, I did upgrade my mic, so hopefully I sound better. And as promised last time, here is my Meet the Artist video. This is my 4th or 5th video, I think, and before I never really introduced myself or anything. So here we go. Hi, my name is Rhea. It's actually a nickname for Rachel, but I'm not too fond of my actual name. Not because I think it's a bad name, I just feel like it doesn't suit me personally. And my pronouns are she and her. If you refer to me as they too, then that's fine. I'm going to be turning 22 in August, which means my star sign is a Leo. It's early August, I know late August is a Virgo. But of course, I happen to look 15 with my face. I often forget that I'm considered an adult with like responsibilities and stuff. But I'm a senior in college majoring in graphic design with a minor in video production, and I graduate in December of this year. As for my art story, I've been drawing maybe since a kid. I'm definitely not one of those people who came out the womb with a beret and a palette. I sort of just wandered into art as if my soul was gravitated towards some kind of destined love for it or something. I know for sure in middle school I picked up drawing. You know how people meme about like the girl who liked either horses or wolves? I transitioned through both of those phases. So I would draw really bad horses, and then I really liked wolves and dogs, so I would draw a ton of them in my journals. And I was teased at some point for it, so I diminished drawing for a bit, and then I drifted back again, and there was like this weird inconsistent pattern. I finally got an actual sketchbook in freshman or sophomore year, but they wouldn't be filled out well, and obviously my drawings kind of sucked. The art that I did like was like an exact redraw of someone else's art. So while I now know that only doing redraws, like exact redraws, is detrimental to my growth as an artist, I obviously didn't know that back then. But also in high school, I suffered a lot from depression and had this constant extreme exhaustion from living. So my poor mental and my lack of resources or support during that time definitely had an impact on my art. While the few art classes I took in high school felt pretty bland as an experience, I still was reminded of art's presence in my life, so that gravitational pull of destiny or whatever had me still thinking about it. When I graduated and enrolled in college, I was still very unsure of so many things and I was very anxious, but I did pick up drawing again. And I started to post on Instagram, but of course it was still not anything exciting to look at in my opinion. I wanted to improve always, but I was still uncertain on where to start other than simply drawing. So it was kind of like a shot in the dark. Some places were helpful and some weren't. It was very hit or miss. My sketchbooks become more filled and I'd find myself drawing during lectures sometimes. And then my sophomore year I came across Inktober. This challenge was very exciting to me, and I want to say it was a very important and impactful part of helping me consistently draw. So because of that, I was eager and I filled out bigger sketchbooks with tons of pages, without leaving some pages just completely blank anymore. Over the past few years, I began practicing more and more proper and ideal ways for growing as an artist thanks to the internet and coming across good resources. Like I finally ventured away from my core classes and into my art classes and got exposed to other artists and had them as mentors and professors. So my current goal is to draw at least 3 hours a day, and with 6 hours being the ideal. And if that sounds wild, let me clarify, I haven't consistently reached 6 hours a day yet. And I thought of that pretty recently, and it's only really for days without school or work. I really want to improve my art, and I sometimes stress over not meeting my own expectations or satisfaction with my art, so that's why I'm really trying to push this. But on the other hand, I remind myself that I'm doing just fine and that I should draw simply because it makes me happy. one day I will be super great and do cool things, but right now I'm doing decent things, and that's good too. I'm good enough, and so are you in case you struggle with this, so we're good. Keep going. And in general, I'm a very artistic and creative driven person. I've always liked making things and indulging in art whenever, whether it's crafting, audio and video production, photography. I'm a person of many interests, and I try to avoid the word hobbies because I feel like it doesn't explain my appreciation for these activities. I genuinely have great interest in them, I just don't have the time to thoroughly explore all of them all the time. Okay, now that I'm done with my main art talkie, it's time to introduce, or I guess describe myself. But I'm never sure how to describe myself, and oftentimes it feels like there's so many different sides to me. I try to be hopeful yet realistic. I stay up a lot by habit because I prefer nighttime. I'm a very tired person, but I enjoy being productive because it makes me feel good to accomplish things. I'm a huge dreamer for things, but I'm also a huge overthinker. I'm pretty critical of myself as well, and I try to balance it with self-love. I'm usually lost in my own thoughts and having some kind of existential crisis every now and then. I am an introvert and definitely more of a nature and animals over people person, but despite that, I do value my friends and good connections very sincerely. I love hyping others up and making sure they're doing well. I'm often shy and slightly anxious around others for the first time, but because of school and work, I know how to play the social persona game well and wear different masks when I need to. Of course, by nature, I can be pretty chill and approachable despite the dead expression on my face, but at the end of the day though, I will definitely need to crawl back to my room and rest. Maybe for 3 years or something, I don't know. As for my likes, cute things are almost a trademark for me at this point, like plushies with dot eyes and blush marks or things that have hearts or stars I'm usually pretty weak for. I also love a lot of sweets, cakes and tarts and cafe type things. I'm trying to learn how to make some of that stuff as well. I've enjoyed playing games since a kid. I'd play GameCube or Game Boy games with my brothers, and then we had a Wii and I got a DS, but since then I haven't played much console games for some reason. I hope to get back into them because I love Nintendo games, but since I was around 15 and got my first laptop, I just played PC games all the time. I've played way too much League of Legends and a few FPS games. I enjoy MMOs too and other games, I just don't have enough time. I have so many different interests that I'm trying to balance, and I feel bad if I play video games for too long, but sometimes it's also really fulfilling. And similarly, while it's not on my list of likes, you might have been able to guess that I like anime. Yes, I am very inspired by anime, and it's fun to watch and great. Another thing that I like is nature and astronomy. It's very fascinating to me, and while I stay in most of the time, I do like to go outside for places like cafes and bookstores or art supplies and going to museums, and I like taking my camera with me on these adventures. I love rainy days and staying in. It's great. Let me just exist in my room quietly while it's raining outside and everything's silent. And of course, a huge thing I love is BTS. I have to contain myself in this video to not ramble for 16 hours about my love for them, but I've been a fan of them since 2018, so around 2 years now, and they just mean so much to me. Oh my gosh. And now for dislikes. I hate when I oversleep because I usually don't even feel well rested, so it was just a waste of time that makes me sluggish all day. Anxiety is gross and annoying, and I'm sure this is a universal thought because it would be really nice if I didn't lose my breath when making phone calls or having to confront someone. I'm also not a fan of people, to be honest, in the sense that there's too many people with toxic mentalities and they have zero intention of changing for the better. Obviously the usual racists or homophobes of the sort, but Also, people who look down on others or go out of their way to make others feel bad, like, just don't be an asshole. The human race exhausts me, but I try to be thankful of the humans that are doing things well, or at least want to learn how to do so. Another thing I dislike, worms are, I actually can't even stand the word worm, to be honest, in general. I feel bad because they're just creatures trying to live their life, but when I think of, like, they're all wiggly and slimy, it's like, could you go back into the dirt? I'm so sorry. Especially, like, maggots or okay, no, let me not. I also don't think jump scares are cool. They're just annoying. Heavy gore also leaves me unamused because, like, why? If it genuinely serves the purpose, then fine, but if it's just to add shock factor or something, then I think it's stupid. I also don't like it because seeing our insides is really disgusting. So yeah. And the last one is weird. So I can't stand milk by itself, but I don't mind if it's in other things, milk tea or ice cream or pastries. It's mostly because I'm probably like borderline lactose intolerant, but also the taste of regular cow milk is gross to me. On the contrary, I actually love making strawberry milk though, which is like I make homemade strawberry syrup with almond milk and like a little bit of heavy whipping cream. I will constantly drink that even until my stomach feels weird. As for the drawing and what's in my bag, so this drawing is pretty accurate of what I'd wear. Like in class I'm pretty much always found wearing like a pleated skirt and thigh highs. Yep, there's that anime reference again. But while I wish I had such a cute bag, I kind of made it up. But if that could be a thing, I would totally bring it everywhere with me. And yeah, on my bag, like, I usually like having a bunch of pins or like a plushie charm on my bags. And then on the inside, I take the essentials. So of course, my botched phone, I really need an upgrade, and my wallet with 2 cents in it. Yeah, that's what I have. I also tend to take a mini bag, which usually has stuff like hair ties or pins and medicine. Ideally, I would have my favorite lemonade in there, but if not, I opt for a bottle of lemon water. I love lemon water. I usually carry shades with me because my eyes are very sensitive to the brightness of the sun, and of course I have a self-defense knife. It's very pretty. And always, 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 I have my wireless headphones for music. But yeah, that's pretty much an insider scoop on me. It feels weird to say so much of myself, so if you watch this, please feel free to, introduce yourself as well by maybe describing yourself. What makes your heart race, things you look forward to, or something you're grateful for. And as usual, I will continue to make videos. I'm not sure what my next one will be, but I'll do my best to post at least once a week. If I had to pick a day, I'd say maybe Thursday. We'll see. But until then, thank you for any of your support as I'm trying to grow as a tiny sprout. If you enjoyed my introduction, please feel free to like this video, and if not, it do be like that sometimes. But if you're taking an interest in me, then please join me on this art adventure and subscribe, because you will definitely see more fun and chill art content from me. Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys do your best and take care until next time, okay?